And in what way? If yes.
If honestly, like, that's a hard question. I think that I guess I kind of agree with Grandpa. I would want to be known, but I wouldn't want to be famous. If that makes sense.
Ariana Grande always would get asked about boyfriends, and she said, if I'm not interesting enough, then why are you talking to me by myself? And one of the things she would say is, I don't want people talking about me. I want them to be talking about my music. I would think that you would want people to talk about your photography or something like that.
Yeah, something along the line. I want them to know what I do. I don't want them to be talking about me. Yeah, like that. Go Ari.
3, before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you are going to say and why?
Sometimes.
Not writing down,
No,
though. Not to that level. Not to that level.
I don't write it down. The only times that I ever kind of rehearse what I'm gonna say is probably
Breakups? No, just kidding. No. Just kidding. Not over the phone.
No, never. I've never had a breakup over the phone.
That would be horrible. I mean, you never dated Joe Jonas. That's why.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
No, I would. The only times that I ever rehearse what I'm gonna say is that if I get a call back from a potential job, and so I kind of try to collect myself before I answer the phone and kind of rehearse what I'm gonna say. And that's pretty much it, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
4, what would constitute a perfect day for you?
Perfect day. I'd wake up a little bit earlier, probably and hopefully the day before that I had a decent nice rest. So I would probably wake up by 7:30 and then do yoga for half an hour and then take my shower as long as I needed to. And then make my favorite breakfast, which is usually, it's pretty basic, is avocado toast with an egg on it.
Oh my word.
I do love avocado toast. And then a chai latte. And then
You do live in Bellingham.
Yeah, I do. I really do. And then I would probably get in my car. I want to okay, this is kind of embarrassing, but I know that they say that you never forget how to ride a bike, but I'm pretty sure I forgot how to ride a bike. But if I could, my perfect day would be it would be a nice spring sunny day, and I would ride down to, because my house is pretty close to the bay, I would ride down to
Woo!
I would ride down to the park and set up my hammock and journal for a little bit, and do some devos, and then by late afternoon have some happy hour with some friends, probably at Aslan, or we always go to Whole Foods. Happy hour at Whole Foods is literally the best because you can get either a glass of wine or a pint of beer.
They have happy hour at Whole Foods?
Yeah, no.
That's a thing?
Yeah, no, and it's so cheap. Literally, it's $3 for a drink.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, and I think $1 off a pizza. And they have vegan pizza because I can't eat dairy. So, and then, after that, take all of those friends and whoever else and, have a bonfire at the beach, or, just watch the sunset in general.
Oh.
Oh.
Ooh, I wonder if they could hear that.
Yeah. And then end the night playing some Dutch Blitz with
Oh,
my buddies.
Dutch Blitz!
We love good Dutch Blitz. And then be in bed by 11 p.m.
Nice.
Yeah.
Question 5. When did you last sing to yourself and to someone else? And to someone else?
Last time I sang to myself, I think it was on the way here. I was singing in the car for sure. The last time I sang to somebody else, I led worship yesterday.
Ah. So. 6. If you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the mind or body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, which would you want? Ooh.
The mind or body of a 30-year-old?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm 22, so I just, I would retain, a 30-year-old's,
You're 60 years old.
I'm 60 years old.
Oh, no, you want to live, if you were able to live to the age of 90.
Okay.
And for the last 60 years of your life, you could stay as a 30-year-old.
No.
By your body or mind. Which one?
Oh,
the body or the mind? I feel like your mind is still working, but then your body like, oh, are they gonna? I feel
Well,
like, oh,
that's
so
what I was
hard.
trying to, like, think, like, is my brain still working the same way it would as a 30-year-old's brain by the time I'm 90? Is that what it's saying?
Yeah.
Oh, then I would want my body to be like the ability of like a 30-year-old. Because the thing is, if my brain's like the 30-year-old while I'm 90 years old, then what have I learned in the past 60 years?
Girl, yeah, that's right. That's right.
She's just a simple girl.
That's awesome. That's a good answer. 7. Do you have a secret hunch about how you will die?
I always feel like young people, like myself, always say this, that we're gonna like die young.
I've always said that.
I've always like,
and now I'm here at 40.
Yeah, no, literally, like I'm probably gonna live as long as my grandparents, and like they're still kicking. So I think that like there's like 2 ways that this could go. Actually, there's 3 ways. Like I've had hunches. Either A, I'm gonna get like super sick again, and that's how I'm gonna die, like, which is like kind of sad, but also I've kind of accepted that, like, if that ends up happening, I'll make the most of it and it'll be great. Or the other one is I am gonna end up like dying in some like freak accident, like literally get into like a car crash and then just like die on impact.
Okay, girl, I hope this does not happen because it'd be freaky watching this video later on in life.
Knock on wood. But like literally I don't know, like, yeah. I feel like that would be like the crazy way that I would die, like out of the blue, would be like a car accident. But I guess that's not necessarily a hunch. Like that's just kind of like one of those things where everybody kind of thinks it. And then with like me, I feel like I've gotten past like the grief of like having a chronic illness, that I actually think that I'm just gonna like die of old age. But I kind of hope I kick the can before my husband does. Whoever you are out there. Hi.
Hey. Hey. Well, it says number 8 is name 3 things you and your partner appear to have in common. So I will say, what would you like to have? Name 3 things you would like to have in common with your partner.
Oh, okay. Well, here, I'll do like the ones that like aren't, you know, like the super stupid important things, like, you know, like a relationship with Jesus or like a good relationship with your family or something like that. Like, let's do like the fun, quirky things. Okay. Homeboy better be funny. Like, I realize this about myself. I'm like, oh my gosh, he has to be like as funny as me or like a little bit funnier than me, but like not too funny, or else I'll be like, yeah, like.
So 1 is being funny,
Yeah.
but not too funny.
Yeah.
But not funny.
Yeah, and just like, just very good comedic timing, I guess. And then work ethic. I hope that like we have like that we can balance out our work ethic. I don't want somebody who's a workaholic, but I also don't want somebody who's just gonna sit on their butt all day, because I can't do that. I get really antsy if I'm like sitting for too long with my thoughts, like most people. And then 3rd one, creativity, for sure. I'm a very creative person, I'd like to think. And so I would want somebody who's like very, what's the word? Complimentary to that. I mean, like, they could be creative in a different way that's like not photography or something like that. I would like them to be like musically inclined, but that's like not a complete deal breaker. But it would be nice.
Okay, number 9. For what in your life do you feel most grateful?
For what in my life do I feel most grateful? There's like so many things in my life that I'm super grateful for. So I don't really. If I had to pick one. Ooh,
sorry. Whoops. Yeah.
Yes. Like, I guess like my health. Maybe. Like, I don't know. I didn't think I was gonna be like doing too hot like as a 22-year-old, because I didn't know if like I was gonna get better or not by the time I was like 18 or something like that. I think I was 18. Like, I was 17 when I got sick, and then I was 18 when it like kind of like started getting bad. But it was also started getting better. But I didn't know how my life would look like. If you told me that I was gonna be like completely fine by the grace of God, like by the time I'm 22, I would have been like, yeah, no, like I'm probably still gonna be on steroids, like these cheeks. But here she is, thriving.
Awesome. 10. If you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be?
Just one. I'm just kidding.
Oh, you better hope your mama's not watching this.
Oh, I better hope my grandpa's not watching.
Oh.
You know, literally it does take a freaking village. But, one thing that I would change about how I was raised, I guess. I was raised to have thick skin, which is really nice, and I also was raised to, like, you know, like, I guess, I feel like most church kids would say this, like, I wish I was raised in in an environment where God wasn't, like, so scary. Because, like, that would have been great, because I think I would have had, like, a relationship with God probably a lot sooner. Because I don't think I developed my own relationship with God, like, actually, like, developed my own relationship probably until I was, like, 14, like, actually took it seriously and realized that, oh, God's actually not mean and scary and doesn't hate me.
So, wait a minute. Let me ask you. Who made you think that God was scary?
I feel like it was just mainly our home church, and that's why our parents, like, pulled us out. It was like,
really?
you guys aren't like growing spiritually here, and we know that. That's why by the time I was 13, like, mom and dad pulled us out. Yeah.
But I mean, why do you think God was scary? Did our church say that God was scary?
I don't think it was like that God was, like, scary, but it was just definitely like there was, like, it was more like fear driven, or like I do remember, like, God or like grandma, like, saying a lot, and just, like, people in the church, like, saying a lot, like, God isn't happy when you, like, do that, or like it just, like, seemed like this guy was, like, just pissed all the time, and it's like that sucks. And just but I feel like that's a lot of churches that, like, most millennial kids or Gen Z when they were growing up, like, that's just how it was, and even, like, your age, like, that's just, like, kind of how it was, like, a lot more conservative and everything like that.
Oh, okay, I'll give you conservative. It's definitely been conservative.
Yeah, like, it's just, like, with like, more conservative churches, it does tend to be, like, more, like, yeah, no, we should be, like, fearful of God, because, like, God has, like, so much power, but at the same time, it's like, if you only see that, like, you only see that, and that's not great.
Yeah. No, that's
not how it works.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I was just wondering, because I was like, I don't think I ever feared God in the like, I was never scared or thought he was mean or thought he was unhappy with me, like, growing up. Like, I've always seen him as a God of grace. So that's why I was like, really? But maybe it's because I took it more from, like, living with your grandparents, even though you said my mom would say stuff. So, but
like, that's the only thing that I feel like when, like, me and Auntie Kim, or, like, me and my sisters would, like, start fighting, then she'd be like, Jesus isn't happy about that.
And the guilt trip thing.
It's like, it's like that. I think, like, it's just, like, more like having a lot of guilt, and then see the thing, like, the thing about guilt is that I learned this in therapy. Like, guilt can turn into shame very, very quickly. Guilt is, like, more of, like, guilt is saying, like, I did a bad thing. Shout out to Brene Brown. Guilt is saying that I did a bad thing. Shame is saying that I am bad. And so I think that, like, kind of, like, that guilt a lot of the time, like, turned into shame. Yeah. When I, like, did something bad or whatever it was, even though I'm, like, I was a pretty good kid, like, for the most part, other than the fact that I, like, beat up my sister all the time. But, like,
this is on film. No.
She knows that too. She's like, she, like, still gives me crap for it too. I'm like,
well, my old mentor, Ate Grace, used to say to me, conviction moves you, condemnation paralyzes you, or something to that effect. And so yeah, like, she always used to say, like, if you feel convicted, that's from God, because he will help move you forward. Yeah. But if you feel condemned, that's from the enemy, and he will keep you staying there, because it's kind of like, well, I'm messed up anyway. It's kind of like when you're trying to eat right and you eat, like, one cookie and you're like, screw it, I'm eating the whole box because I ate one cookie. Yeah. It's like,
no, you don't have to eat the whole box. Yeah. No, and I think, like, I even, like, remember, like, I think it was Heidi, like, did something, and, like, grandma, like, said, like, Jesus isn't happy when, like, you do that or something like that. And I literally remember you saying, like, Mom, don't say that. I'm like, oh, yeah, no, you should say that.
Because, I mean, I think, yeah, because I get what you're saying. Yeah. You know, it misassociates I mean, I don't, I mean, whatever she may have said, maybe it's true, maybe it's not something that would make, but it's like to a kid, it's
Yeah.
kind of like,
It's just like you're being bad.
yeah, and it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Anyways,
we don't like understand it as well. Like we don't understand like also like we will never ever fathom like what like who God like truly is until like we actually like meet him. Even so, it's like too much for like a human's brain. But also I think it's just I wish that I don't know. I feel like a lot of like the way that when you're like raised in a more conservative church, it's like so like rule based, and that's like another, and like that's how it is for like so many people that grew up in the church like that are my age. Is just that a lot of us grew up with a lot of rules and like having to check off boxes and like don't do this but why, and like not actually like knowing, and like I didn't understand like necessarily why sex for like keeping sex for marriage was so sacred until like I went to like Overlake, and they're like, oh yeah, no, this is why. Actually, in college is when I really, really knew why it was safe for the context of marriage, or trying to think like what else, or yeah, even like why, like even like drinking and everything like that. It's like, no, don't do it. Why? Because like the Bible says so.
which it doesn't, obviously.
Which it doesn't always say. It says don't get drunk.
Yeah.
And it says this, and that. But I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like a lot of things were taken out of context. Or like, yeah, I think a lot of the time it's just like taken out. There's things that are taken out of context, even with like tattoos. Like tattoos mainly. And because it's in Leviticus, like, oh my gosh.
There's a lot of things in
There's
Leviticus.
a lot of things in Leviticus.
Let's check if we're both wearing things that have two kinds of,
Like cloth.
yeah,
Yeah, no, or, have you ever...
polyester and cotton or something. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
no, or like, oh no, I didn't, or like, when it comes to like your meals or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like
Something,
harvesting and stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I would change.
Well, anyways, I was gonna say it's getting. I think 10 questions actually is good because this has already been 18 minutes. But I think we should do a different video where we're just talking about being raised in a conservative church. I think we should. So let's go.
Okay.
I'll end this one.